So the Fantastic Four cast has finally been announced. 5 long years after Disney purchased 20th Century Fox and put countless people out of a job, and simultaneously put an end to a cornerstone movie studio in the process, I guess now we finally have something to show for it. The funniest part about all of this is that they waited so long to move ahead with this project that a majority of people don't even seem to really care anymore. Comic book movie fatigue has officially set in, and Marvel Studios combats that by making one of the most boring casting announcements in recent memory. Never change, Marvel. Never change. Let's discuss.
Our content sucks. Our content sucks.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So after years of anticipation for some, and simply not caring for others, Marvel Studios is officially moving forward with a new Fantastic Four movie. They chose Valentine's Day 2024 to make this announcement, and they did so by releasing a fake Valentine's Day card on social media. The card reveals the official logo and possible details associated with the film. And we'll get into those details in just a moment, but first I need to point out that the release date has officially moved back for this film from May of 2025 to July of 2025. And the Thunderbolts movie will now be moving up into that vacant May release date. And I think I speak for many people when I say it doesn't really matter when the Thunderbolts movie is going to come out, because most of us really do not give a shit.
I don't care!
But as for the Fantastic Four, yes, the cast was officially announced after months of rumors and speculation. Ebon Moss will be playing The Thing, Joseph Quinn will be playing Johnny Storm, Vanessa Kirby will be playing Sue Storm, and Pedro Pascal will in fact be playing Mr. Fantastic. Now, I've spoken extensively already about the possibility of Pedro Pascal being Reed Richards, but now that it's official, I will reiterate. In no way does he seem like the right fit for this part, at least not the Reed Richards character that I know. Unfortunately, I think we can assume that this will be Reed Richards in name only, as a lot of actors reportedly passed on the role because of how Reed Richards was portrayed in the film. I mean, this has been well documented, you can look into it for yourself if you like, but Reed Richards will reportedly be playing second fiddle to Sue Storm, who will in fact be the focal point of this film, according to rumors. I don't know why Marvel Studios and Disney are so afraid of the team dynamic and portraying it properly. It would seem like a slam dunk for a property like the Fantastic Four, especially if you want to reintroduce them properly to your universe. But for some reason, Disney and Marvel Studios feels the need to have one character at the forefront. And I'll let you all guess why that could potentially be the character of Sue Storm. Yes, Queen! As for Pedro Pascal, if anyone is right for playing a neutered version of Reed Richards, it's probably him. So in that aspect, maybe it's the perfect casting for an MCU version of Mr. Fantastic. As for Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, I would say if Sue Storm is in fact the focal point of this film when it is released, at least they pick someone who I don't mind looking at. She might be the only casting choice I don't really have a problem with, actually.
Because she got a great ass!
As for the other two guys, I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. Joseph Quinn played the most overrated and pointless character in television history with Eddie from Stranger Things. And Ebon Moss is, I guess, in that show The Bear, which I haven't seen, but I've heard good things about. But they are two castings that kind of inspire a shoulder shrug from me personally. In fact, that was pretty much my reaction to this announcement overall. And apparently I'm not alone, because much to my surprise, I saw a lot of accounts on X actually all over this announcement. Unusual considering that platform is mostly filled with Marvel shills. Even the most delusional and obnoxious fanboys on X could not co-sign this announcement. Like this clown who said, quote, "We were never going to get a cast better than this one. Once you accept that, it's easier to move forward. with a picture of the 20th Century Fox Fantastic Four.
You didn't see that coming.
It's really interesting to me that all the MCU fans who used to shit all over the 20th Century Fox stuff are now somehow embracing it. I guess the narrative changes when the MCU continues to f*** up. Other reactions include this one, saying, quote, "The downgrade is massive, man," with the 20th Century Fox Mr. Fantastic once again getting his flowers. And I couldn't agree more, it is a massive downgrade going from him to Pedro Pascal. Hell, it was a massive downgrade going from John Krasinski, who only played him in one scene, going to Pedro Pascal. And finally, we have another person here who said, quote, "We're gonna have back-to-back dog Fantastic Four films." This person is obviously not a fan of any incarnation we've got of this team on film up until this point. And this is something else that I've also said repeatedly. There are just some things, in my opinion, that do not translate from page to screen when it comes to comic book adaptations.
That makes sense.
A child or teenage Robin as the sidekick of Batman comes to mind. To me, that will just never work in live action. And I'm starting to think that the Fantastic Four is one of those properties as well. Clearly, many people have tried to adapt them and failed miserably, so maybe, just maybe, it's time that we stop trying to beat a dead horse. Do we really have faith in Marvel Studios of all places to pull this off finally, given their recent content? How many times have they reportedly started from scratch rewriting this film because they couldn't get it right? Again, you can look into it, it's been happening, it's been reported on. Now, the one thing that is being rumored based on this Valentine's Day card is that this could be a period piece set in the 1960s. Hence the retro feel of the card, logo, and costumes. And I do think that's actually the smart way to go. The problem is that if this movie is in fact taking place in the main MCU universe, then why haven't we heard anyone talk about the Fantastic Four in other MCU films prior to now?
Why?
And if it is in another universe, then that just opens up the floodgates for even more multiverse messes. When I say that introducing characters of this magnitude into a universe this late in the game is too little too late, I mean it. Imagine the burden on the creatives involved to try to make all of this make sense, instead of them just focusing on telling the best story possible. Do away with the shared universes and go back to standalone movies, please, for the love of God, for all of our sakes.
So pretty please, with sugar on top.
Needless to say, this announcement has had a very lukewarm reception, outside of your usual fanboy gushing over everything the company puts out. But I do think it's very telling that a majority of people seem to be underwhelmed by this. Maybe it's a sign that this movie doesn't really need to exist in the first place. I know that may be blasphemy to some of you, but sometimes you have to look past your fan goggles and see what's best for the brand. Because right now, Marvel Studios can ill afford yet another financial failure.
Y'all be cool. Right on.